You are being lied to by pro players and the community in general. Hear me out. I've been on a journey to discover as much as I can about Apex Legends. Recently, it was grinding my way to Apex Predator using controller. And I've almost never played controller, so it was tough.
Did they push you off? Live?
But more recently, I decided to try Legends besides the meta ones that everyone is playing. In doing that, I actually stumbled upon the strongest character in the game that nobody is playing. Ashe. Now, I know what you're thinking. Ashe? She's like one of the worst characters in the game. But let me explain, and not only will I have proved to you that Ashe has significantly more value than players like His Watson and Imperial Hal lead you to believe, but I'll also show you how I became the #1 ranked Ashe in the game. It's important to note, I've never really had a main in Apex. I've always just played whoever I felt like playing at any given time because I think it's fun to experiment. Whether they were meta or not, I felt like I could make any character good. I had never really given Ashe a chance though. When she released 3 years ago, she was super underwhelming. I thought her teleport was a little wonky and short, I thought her tactical was too slow and clunky, and I thought her passive was useless because you couldn't activate it on your own. I was definitely like every other pro player who thought she just had zero use in all aspects of the game. Whether that be competitive play where you'd think her ultimate was useful, or casual play where maybe her snares would get you kills. That all changed though when I got bored this season and decided to start playing her in ranked, and I realized quickly how strong she actually is. Like I said, she released 3 years ago now, but since then has had multiple buffs to her snare ability, including cooldown reductions, travel speed, but most importantly, she was giving the ability to shoot or heal while throwing the snare like Bangalore and Mad Maggie can with their utility. This was the start of my opinion changing on Ashe. Her snare was pretty good in theory, it was like a small Horizon ult, but it felt horrible getting slowed and putting your gun away. Now though, her snare is easier than ever to hit, and you can do other actions like throwing grenades to overwhelm your enemy, or even throw it while healing to block a doorway off. Not to mention, it's also just extremely fun in this current meta where everyone and their moms are playing Pathfinder and Revenant, tethering them all and watching them try to escape. Another thing that has helped Ashe a lot is the introduction of the perk system. We'll talk about her level 2 perks later in the video, but the level 3 perks are where I think Ashe becomes one of the strongest characters in the game. You get 2 choices to enhance her tactical: Greedy Snare or Twin Snare. Now I get asked so much about these two that I had to make a command in my Twitch chat. Always pick Twin Snare. Always. Having 2 snares to throw opens up so many opportunities in a team fight. You can snare the same guy twice, effectively extending the duration and also dealing double damage. 40 damage on one guy is a lot of damage, do not underestimate it. Or you can even snare 2 people who are on 2 different angles. Now, Greedy Snare isn't a bad choice, but in my experience, the chances of you snaring multiple people in one throw is just way too low. But feel free to call me stupid in the comments down below if you're #GreedyGang. Either way, being able to upgrade your tactical, which is already super strong on its own, is huge. And I genuinely think the perk system brought Ashe from B tier to S tier for me. So there is one thing I haven't talked about too much with Ashe, and it's her ultimate. Her teleport has been a big cause in people not wanting to play her because placing it... that she is not that bad.
We call the team in front of us.
That was an intentional portal.
It's 2 teams actually.
It can be pretty tricky to say the least. The inconsistency hasn't been fixed, but it has been buffed in terms of distance. This means you can get farther off angles and push at people from farther than before, which sounds like not the biggest deal, but in my experience, I have noticed it a ton, and it's super nice for crossing long, open distances on maps like Olympus. I do think her ultimate gets hated on too much because once you start getting used to it, you do start to fail your teleports less, which just means that it's a skill thing, which isn't a bad thing. It's also just super satisfying when you do hit a good TP and the angle you got actually wins you the fight. But seriously, Respawn, if you're watching this, please, 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 all 5 of us Ashe mains are begging you guys to make her teleport feel more like Reapers from Overwatch. Please. All in all, I'm not saying Ashe is some perfect character and that if you start playing her, you'll instantly get to higher ranks. She definitely still needs adjusting. For starters, I'd make her ultimate more consistent with its placement, like I said earlier with Reaper, please, respawn, please. And I would 100% change her level 2 perks to upgrade her ultimate instead of the current 2. They are so useless. Maybe you teleport farther, or the teleport goes faster. I don't know. But even as she is now, I think she's incredibly underrated and has a high potential in the right hands. I mean, I started playing her this split, and I'm reaching top 50 Apex Predator for the first time in a long while mostly playing with washed mouse and keyboard players, believe it or not. Which, by the way, again, makes me the #1 ranked Ashe in the game. Anyways, play who you want, unless it's Revenant, then you belong in jail. And thank you for watching the video.